Hello there, this is DBT and this is Art of Rooms. And alright, let's continue playing some more Asphalt Legends Unite. And today, I'm gonna be talking about the car that you see on the screen right now. And that is the LEGO Technic McLaren Senna GTR. And of course, this is the topic of the day because the quote-unquote special event for it just started and, oh boy, we need to talk about it because let's face it, it is not what everybody was hoping this event was going to be. But before I jump into it, if you enjoy my content, please hit the like button on this video and subscribe to the channel, because doing this helps the channel to continue to grow, and in that way I can continue making this content for you. So go ahead, like and subscribe for some more alu right here. But alright, so as I just said, this is a quote-unquote special event, but really it's not found under the special event tab. Instead you find it under daily. And not that it matters much where it's found, but it starts hinting towards what this event is, and most importantly, what it isn't. And what it is not, oh man, it's not a collector hunt. But let's check it out. Now, this format may look a little bit familiar because it is similar looking to the Unleashed that we get often in the game. However, that's not exactly what this is. Instead, it is what is known as a tour, but we'll get more into that. So, just real quick, let's have a look at what this event offers. What can you get from the event? Just some regular rewards as usual. The important part is going to be over here where you can get some blueprints for the car. However, right away you can see that you don't get too many of them. Over here you're going to be able to get 6 blueprints in total plus another 3, that's 9 blueprints, and that is that. Okay, so how about the second stage over here? Maybe we get more stuff. Well, let's have a look. You can get a decent amount of tokens and again, more blueprints, but that's another 9 blueprints and an epic. And that's that, nothing else. Okay, so how about the last part over here? What can you get in here? Well, over here is where you can get more blueprints. However, they're locked behind the results that you get in this event. This is the type of competition event in which, depending on what is your lap time is and what percentage you're gonna qualify, and based on that is how many blueprints you can get. If you get a bottom result, you're gonna get 3 blueprints. If you get top 10%, you're gonna get 12 blueprints. And if you are the best of all players, you're gonna get 15 blueprints for it. So, not a lot of blueprints. Okay, well, you know, it's not a ton of blueprints and whatnot, but is that enough to unlock the car? Well, how about that? The thing about it is that this car, it's a key car, which means that it doesn't matter how many stars you get it at, you don't own the car until you get the key. Okay, DBT, but where was the key? And that, my friend, is the real question about this event. No, I didn't skip anything. There is no key in this event. You cannot acquire this car through this event. And that is where it's like, okay. So first thing, you know, as I mentioned, this is not a collector hunt like we got for the Chevrolet Corvette Stingray, in which you were able to, by doing the event, which was actually found under special events, but by doing the event a bunch of times, you were over time able to unlock the car. Not this time. Like I said, this is a little bit closer to Unleashed, though it's not properly like that. In fact, there's another event that kind of had this format before, but we'll get to that. First, let's talk about this key situation because, well, what's the point of an event where you cannot get the key? Well, for that, oh boy, they had to make a post on Discord to clarify what happened here. And this was posted earlier today, and it reads, LEGO Technic McLaren Senna GTR key availability. We've heard your feedback on the LEGO Technic McLaren Senna GTR key, and don't worry, this is only the first of 3 planned events for the LEGO Technic McLaren Senna GTR, and the key will be featured on the 3rd event planned for later this year. However, for those of you who can't wait, we're also making the LEGO Senna GTR available in the Gameloft Club and console shop, so you can add it to your garage straight away. Apologies if this was not made clearer, and we hope this helps clear any questions. Okay, well, now we know. So now with the information that there's gonna be several events of this type throughout the year, we don't know how long it's gonna take, but then this really paints a picture that this is similar to the event that we got for the, what was it, the Formula E Gen 2 car that we got, I believe was last year. It happened when it was still Asphalt 9, and it kind of happened also while the transition to Asphalt Legends Unite happened, but it was basically the same thing. You would get this type of event where you could make some progress into acquiring the car or actually unlock the car, but throughout the rest of the events you were able to get more blueprints for it. So it is sort of similar, except that the Formula E car was not a key car. That is to say that so long as you get the car to 1 star, you unlock the car. And that's actually how I did on my Switch. I was able to get it to 1 star and the car is mine, even if only at 1 star. Now here on my global account where I'm recording, I did manage to eventually get the car and go through that event, so it was pretty good. But over here, again, we're limited because, hey, once again, we don't get the key over here. We're gonna get on to the 3rd stage, and by the fact that you're gonna get the key over there makes me think that you're probably not gonna be able to start up this car very much, and that is a bit unfortunate. But they did mention that if you want the car right now, you can just get it in the shop. Okay, let's check that out. And in case you're not familiar with this is the shop.gameloft.com website, in which you kind of have to sign in with your Gameloft ID if you have one and whatnot, and then you can start making purchases for your account. Now, the whole idea of this shop is that you can purchase stuff cheaper than if you were to buy it directly in the platform where you're playing the game. So that is a bit of a workaround that they do in order to not have to pay the platform the additional charge, and that comes in the form of saving for you, the buyer. But either way, so over here's where you will be able to get the key. So where is that? Where is it? Here it is. The Lego McLaren Senna GTR, and there it is, the key. Now this obviously it's my local currency. Don't think that this is gonna cost you $350. No. The actual price is somewhere about $15, $17, $18. I don't know exactly how much they consider each dollar to be worth in my local currency, but it's somewhere around there, somewhere between $15 to $20 to be able to acquire this car right away. Is it worth it though? Should you do it well? Once again, they did say that the key will be available in the 3rd event for this car. However, we don't know what that actually means. Well, obviously, it's simple what it means. You get the key. However, what is it going to be required for you to get the key? And that is the problem. Because what if in the 3rd event, what you need in order to get the key is to have the car at max stars, meaning you probably would have to spend a lot of tokens into max star in the car, and only then you can get the key. It could be that, or it could simply be, easily acquirable. We just don't know. And just as a small parenthesis, the whole reason why I was saying so much about that this is not a special event is because originally in the patch notes for the, well, this not patch notes, the update notes, whatever, for this season, it is listed under the special events, and it reads Lego Technic McLaren Senna GTR. We're bringing back this Lego Technic class for a limited run. And in fact, when I did the patch notes review, I did say that this did not specify what type of event this was gonna be, and I was a little bit wary really, that it was not going to be, like I said, a collector hunt like it was the case for the Corvette Stingray. So turns out that DBT was right in his suspicions. But as I was saying, I suppose that there's indeed a possibility that the key will be easy to acquire in the 3rd event. Maybe it's just gonna be as easy as, hey, finish the race and you get the key, right? But like I said, there's also a chance that it's gonna be requiring to max start the car. And even though there's not a ton of blueprints at least in the 1st event, you do already have the opportunity to buy a bunch of blueprints for the car directly for tokens. Now, honestly, I don't love this idea of them offering these blueprints right now for a car that you cannot acquire, at least not even in the game. Again, the key you cannot purchase directly here in the game. You need to know about the external website in order to get it. So it's a little bit of a complicated situation for a player that, again, is not aware of the website. But yeah, there it is. So now the real question is it even worth, either buying the key directly right now or spending a bunch of tokens into max starring it in hopes that that's what's going to be required in order to unlock the car? Well, how about we actually talk about the car itself? Because that's the one thing we haven't talked about at all. So we got here the Lego Technic McLaren Senna GTR. It's a Class A car of a rank of 3846. Now, if you're curious, where does this put it in the, let's say, in the position of the Class A cars? And never mind my not fantastic garage over here, you can see that the Senna GTR, which is this one, it's placed under the Corvette ZR1, which recently we got a special hunt for. So you can tell that it's not exactly a super high tier Class A car, and actually the stats do reflect it. Once again, at a rank of 3846, we got a top speed of 349, basically 350, a little bit under that. And for a Class A car, that is not fantastic. The average for Class A is around 360. However, there's obviously cars that can be slower, but they shine in other stats. So what else does this have? We got an acceleration of 8243, which is pretty okay. It's good acceleration, nothing fantastic, but still pretty good. Handling of 7932 is actually pretty high, so that's a good point for this car. And then the nitro we got at 6528, which is neither very good, neither or pretty bad, neither nor whatever. So the real question is, okay, but this name of the car sounds familiar. I feel like I've seen it before. Yes, because of course there's a regular McLaren Senna GTR also found in Class A. So how does this car compare to that other one? Well, here it is. On the Senna GTR, first we have that the rank is higher by what? About 100 and some points, right? Like 150, a little bit more than that. But let's have a look at the actual stats. The speed of 358 for the regular Senna GTR, it's about 9 kilometers faster than the Lego version of the car. So that is actually closer to the what I said is the average speed for a Class A car. And the acceleration is extremely similar at 82.03, only a 0.4 difference in the acceleration. The handling, however, is where you can really see the difference. The regular Senna GTR has a handling of 60.84, while the other one, like I said, is 79.32. So big difference. And that is actually what plays a big role in how this car performs. And then for the nitro, you will see that the Senna GTR has considerably better nitro at 77.62 compared to the 65.28. So that is approaching the 80 nitro, which, you know, it's pretty high for this game. So that gives you a bit of an idea of how these cars compare in terms of the stats. So it would seem that the Senna GTR, it's only better in in handling, and that's about it, right? Well, yes, but that does play a bit of a role. Now, if I was an amazing player, I would make an amazing comparison, but there's no need because Asphalt Racer, a YouTuber that unfortunately doesn't make videos like this anymore, some years ago made a video precisely doing a comparison between the two cars, but in terms of the performance. He put them side to side. It's a really great video. If you want to see it, I'll put the link in the top right about now. Check it out. It's a fantastic comparison. But with that, you do learn that in general, while the Senna GTR, the regular one, does pretty alright in, generally speaking, top speed tracks compared to this one, the McLaren, the Lego version, the Lego, because of the handling and the better drift, can do better in twisted tracks. But with this, basically what I'm trying to say is this car, it's okay. It's nothing amazing. And honestly, I wouldn't necessarily advise you to start spending tokens desperately into acquiring this car unless you are a collector. So let's play with the car a little bit. Let's get some blueprints. Let's test it in actual practice, and let's continue talking about it. I honestly didn't even pay attention what were the objectives, but I think they're just basically like time objectives. But yeah, as I was saying, this is a cool looking car. It is a novelty car in the game. Well, granted, it's been in the game for quite a few years now, but you know, it's a very interesting car because hey, it's a Lego car and whatnot. Now, whatnot. But that is actually one thing that made it track, or rather might push away some people from getting this car because it's like, man, it doesn't look as cool as a regular car. It looks like a toy, but yeah, because it's kind of basically a toy, right? And, well, I feel like this is very loud. This engine, surprisingly loud. But anyway, oh Jesus, that was way too high for a jump, but we did it. Ah, Jesus, I'm fine. So in terms of look, that might put away some people from wanting the car. But in terms of performance, like I said, actually driving this thing, and again, you probably have driven it already in the event, you can tell that the drift, it's pretty nice. And compared to the drift of the regular Senna GTR, this is way better in the drift and the handling. Like I said, the top speed, well, 10 kilometers does make quite a bit of a difference. The acceleration is so similar that it doesn't matter. And still, the regular Senna GTR has better nitro duration. So really, the strong point of this car compared to the other one, to the normal version, it's the handling and the drifting. And let's see, did I actually get my rewards? Yes, I did. All right, perfect. So you can tell that these are not very difficult objectives to complete on the first part of this event. So no biggie over there. How about the second part of the event? So over here, what are going to be our objectives? Some stunts, nitro bottles, jumps, barrel rolls. Okay, so it's mostly about stunts and getting a decent lap time. Let's do that. So, as I was saying, in general, oh, come to think about it, actually in the Formula E also wasn't this track on the tour event. But anyway, so as I was saying, this is not going to be an amazing car for you to acquire. It's not like, oh my god, I need to get it right now because I'm going to miss out on what it is, one of the best performance cars in Class A. No, it's not. Like I said, it's a very peculiar, funky car because of what it is, being a Lego car in the game and whatnot, not looking like a proper real car, but instead like a toy, all of that stuff, right? So it is a novelty vehicle, and it's a great one in that sense. You know, I would like to acquire this car because while I'm not a huge fan in general of the Lego Technic cars, because I would rather get a proper model, but then again, I understand that the appeal is on building them and whatnot. But anyway, I'm talking IRL. I might not be a huge fan of this. I still think that getting this in the game, it's fantastic. It reminds me, for example, like in Asphalt 8, when you could get the Hot Wheels cars, you know? Now, granted, they did look more like cars. Well, you know, exaggerated car, but still, and compared to this, that it's like blocky. But hey, either way, you get the idea, right? It's a cool little thing to acquire, so hey, why not get it? So in that sense, I do want to get this car, but when it comes about thinking, do I want to spend about $15 in getting the car? Well, I personally don't want to do that. I'm gonna wait until the third iteration of the event, or whatever, the third run of the event, and hoping that I can get the car. And if it does require to have the car at max, I don't know, I probably would not spend the tokens into doing that, because again, it's not a fantastic car. I already have cars that perform better, that I actually like more, visually speaking. Yep, and there it is. Without even trying very hard, I did get all of the conditions, so that's dope. But yeah, let's just keep on driving it, because hey, why not? Might as well take the opportunity while it's there. Now, I do hope that we get in the next multiplayer series a free try of this car in multiplayer, just so that you know. We can actually drive it against other cars and whatnot. But then again, if it's gonna be a free try, you know that everybody's gonna be driving this car, so hey, it's gonna be very similar. But either way. So yeah, overall, yeah, it is a bit disappointing that this is not a collector hunt like it was for the Stingray. I suppose that in general terms, this is a much more useful car than the Stingray was, considering that one was a mid-low class. It was a low class B, if I remember correctly. This one, mid-low, let's leave it at mid-low. This one is a mid-low class A, but it's still, class A is more useful than class B in general. So I can understand why they maybe were not super interested on giving it right away. And like I said, it remains to be seen how easy it's going to be to acquire once the third run of the event happens. Whenever that's going to be, it might take quite a few months. So hey, you know, it's going to be the patience game. And if you're impatient, well, you still have the opportunity to get the car directly in the shop in case you want to do that for the price that I'm not exactly sure how much it is. But you know, in a way, considering that it's what, the price of a Legend Pass, or maybe a Legend Pass and a half, and getting a Class A car, A, maybe, but then again, only at 1 star, and you still have to spend some tokens in starting it up. It really is up to you what you want to do about it. But yeah, just wanted to present you the information with it and give you my thoughts on it. And once again, I don't think anybody actually needs this car when it comes to performance. Even if you're a new player, you're gonna get goodish cars over time, so don't feel the pressure about this too much. But once again, if you enjoyed this video, if you found it useful, like, subscribe, all of that good stuff, and I will see you on the next one. Bye-bye!